So it is the final day of 2022, which is kind of crazy to think about. So in today's video, I thought I might as well recap the last year when it comes to Fortnite, when it comes to this channel, and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys do end up enjoying the content, be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you are new, because I make videos like this all the time, and you can also use my supporter creator code Bendominator in the Fortnite item shop #ad. Let's go ahead and get right into the video. So a year ago during this time, we were actually in Chapter 3 Season 1 of Fortnite, which is really weird to me, but I don't think it's as weird as the year before then, because the year before then in 2021, we went from the start of the year being Chapter 2 Season 5 to the end of the year being Chapter 3 Season 1, which was also really strange, but it is weird that we have jumped an entire chapter, and that Chapter 3 did not last as long as really anyone expected it to. But yeah, a year ago, Chapter 3 Season 1, that feels not that long ago, but it really was, which is crazy to me. And I honestly think that Chapter 3 Season 1 was one of Fortnite's strongest seasons. And not long after the start of 2022, we saw the reintroduction of Tilted Towers, which I think was a huge thing when it came to Fortnite. It was a POI that people had been wanting back for such a long time, possibly the most popular POI in Fortnite history. And honestly, it was just crazy to see it finally return. So that was definitely a lot of fun and definitely a highlight of this year. I also feel like Chapter 3 Season 1 was just a really exciting time for stuff like leaks. I feel like leaks haven't been very prominent lately. Back then we saw a lot of leaks regarding things like the pizza items, brand new map changes like Covert Cavern coming to the game, and just exciting stuff like that all around. And we definitely have things to look forward to with Chapter 4 for sure, but I feel like we haven't seen as much, so I'm interested to see what happens in the next update. And now moving more over to the personal channel side of things, for Brim Royale, we released the first really huge cinematic event for Brim, the Wrath of Ragnarok, which was the beginning of the end for the storyline of Chapter 2, which I think was a really big deal for Brim Royale as a whole. And shortly after, we released Season 6, which is the final season of Chapter 2, which I think was a huge deal as well. We had a lot of hype going into it. It was a really fun season to stream, and then not much later, we had the start of Chapter 3 Season 2 of Fortnite Battle Royale, which was really mind-blowing because of the introduction of no building. Possibly the biggest innovation of Fortnite in the last year, if not the biggest innovation of its entire lifetime. It's such a simple thing, just removing building and making a mode without building, but it was huge at the time, and it's still a mode that a lot of people play, and it's boosted the popularity of Fortnite for casual players tremendously. Then the day was upon us, the final day of Brim Royale Chapter 2, and as we knew it, the final day of Brim Royale as a whole. This story that we had been crafting for over a year at this point had finally come to an end, and I was very satisfied with this. The stream that we did for this actually topped the OG Brim Royale Chapter 1 end stream for me. I remember last year when I made this type of video, I was talking about how that Chapter 1 stream, that magic of the end event, could never be recreated, but I think we were able to do it for one last time, and I just really enjoyed the stream that we did for it. I really love the cinematic that we put out for it. I'm incredibly proud of it, and I'm incredibly proud of what we were able to do with Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 of Brim Royale being a continuous story. And I think this event was the greatest achievement of this channel in 2022, but it also created a major shift that I feel can never be undone. Because once Brim Chapter 2 ended, the entire magic of the Brim community during the time period that Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 existed has permanently changed. And I'm not really saying that's a bad thing necessarily, but the energy of Brim Royale is completely different now, and I don't think we'll ever be the same. And that's okay, because Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 truly was something special, and I think it deserves to stand on its own as something completely unique to what we are doing now. But honestly, I'm fine with that because I'm so proud of what we did during Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Even if we can never recreate or rediscover that magic of it, the fact that we even got to experience it to begin with is fantastic, and I'm just truly proud of what we were able to do with it. And following that, we did release another map called Super Brim Bros, which was kind of a successor to it, a bit of a celebration type thing. But the really unfortunate thing about this map is after making it, we kind of realized that it doesn't really work for live streams. And yeah, we did have a lot of plans for this map, and I was really excited to release it, but looking back, I do think there was a lot of stuff we could have done better, and it just did not really fit the stream environment, which made it not very fun to play on stream, though me and the dev team had a blast playing this off stream a ton. It also doesn't help that Fortnite just did not like this map. I tried submitting it to featured quite a few times. I tried to get it into discovery, and they just were not having it. Epic was not a fan of what we made, and that kind of made it even harder, because I think if this map was featured, it would have been really fun to play, because then you could matchmake with random people, you would have gotten some full lobbies, and it would have been a lot of fun, but Epic just did not want to feature this map, unfortunately, so it didn't really get to reach its fullest potential. Maybe if we worked on it more, that could have happened, but I don't think we really had much motivation to continue it. Will we revitalize it someday? Maybe. I think this map has a lot of potential. I think the concept has a lot of potential. We had a lot of cool plans for it that we never got to do, but overall, Brim Bros was kind of a failed experiment. But I am glad we made it. I'm glad we worked on it. I learned a lot from this map, and I'm overall pretty proud of the final product, and I hope that you guys can still have fun with it, even if we don't stream it a lot. It's still really fun to play with a couple of friends. And yeah, after that Chapter 3 Season 3 released, which was a very divisive season for Fortnite, and overall, I actually kind of enjoyed it, but I did not love it. I just liked it a lot more than other people did, which it seemed like most people kind of hated it. And due to that fact, I was like, I like it more than most people, so I guess I like it. Looking back, I don't think I really enjoyed it that much, but overall, I do think it was okay, which is also kind of how I felt about Chapter 3 Season 2, which was kind of disappointing at this point. It seemed like Chapter 3 had such a strong start, but for me personally, it was kind of going downhill. During the season, I also saw the launch of Brim Royale Chapter 3, which was the first major Brim map since the end of Chapter 2, and this one was very divisive, a very divisive map, probably our first map that had more negative reviews than positive, and honestly, I don't blame people. This map, well, I think was really fun. It just did not live up to a lot of the hype that we had for it, which in retrospect I realized, but when making this map, I really thought it was really great. I thought it was truly the best map we had made to this point, but looking back on it, well, it had some fun aspects to it. I think that there was a lot of room for improvement. Not to say it was bad, but I do think this is probably one of the weakest Brim maps that we have ever made. And I think that's due to one simple fact, and that is the lack of innovation and the fact that we played it very safe with this map. We wanted to kind of keep the vibe of Chapter 1 and 2, but I think we later realized that that wasn't something we should be doing. We should be trying to reinvent Brim Royale. We should be trying to do something brand new, and we started taking these steps with the next map. A big innovation this map did introduce, however, was the brand new soundtrack. Ever since this released, I've been developing a bunch of the soundtrack for Brim Royale, and there's a bunch of soundtracks for Brim that you can listen to on the channel right now, as well as a bunch of new ones I'm going to be releasing very soon. But overall, I think Chapter 3 Season 1 was a huge learning experience for me and the dev team, and personally, I'm really glad that this map happened just for the fact that Reimagined exists now, and we have learned so much from this map that we're carrying over to brand new projects. And hey, look at that, we saw the release of Brim Bros' first and only update with the Summer Splash update, which I'm pretty sure is still active to this day, so Brim Bros may permanently be stuck in summer vacation. But I think this is actually a pretty fun update for the map. We introduced the Slurp Leviathan as a character, which had a really unique gameplay style to the other characters. So that was really fun to play with the dev team, but we didn't really end up streaming it, again, because this map really just did not work for streaming, and Epic, again, did not like this version of the map. Epic just was not having it with Super Brim Bros. They didn't want to feature it, they didn't want to put it in Discovery, so that was also kind of unfortunate. And after this, I feel like Brim Royale kind of went into a bit of a hiatus, where you didn't really see much from us until we later announced Reimagined to be a project that was upcoming. I also released my very own project completely separate from the dev team called Henchmania Survive the Citadel, which is a map that I'm really proud of, and I think is a project that I feel like has a lot of potential. Unfortunately, Epic again did not like this map, and it never got featured either. So that's unfortunate, but overall I think this map was a lot of fun, and it's one of those that you can play single player or with friends and get a similar experience out of it since it is PvE. We also saw Chapter 3 Season 4 Paradise release, and this is where the Chapter 4 rumors really got started, and we also saw the release of the Halloween update, which was somewhat disappointing, though I do give this one a bit more credit than others seem to, as we got a brand new POI, Grim Gables, which I think was really cool to see. And I definitely think it was probably the best holiday event out of this year, which really is not saying much, because I kind of think that this year has probably been the weakest for holiday events in Fortnite that we've ever seen. We then finally released Brim Royale Reimagined after weeks and weeks of work, and I'm honestly so proud of this map. I think it turned out amazing, and I'm so glad that people enjoy it, and while it doesn't recapture the same magic Brim Royale used to, that wasn't really the goal here, and I think we reinvented Brim in a way that is a bit more interesting, a bit more grand in scale, and honestly, I think this is the strongest map we've ever released. I know a lot of people may not agree with that, but I'm really excited about it, and I'm really excited about where it's going. And then we finally saw the release of Fortnite Chapter 4, and I celebrated this with the Chapter 4 subathon, which I technically actually didn't ever finish, but I don't think a lot of people really mind. I streamed for a long time if you combine the two streams that I did. And was it kind of a failure of an event? Well, by definition, yes, but in my opinion, this is one of the most fun live stream events I have ever done on this channel, and I do not regret it. I had so much fun, and I plan to do something like this maybe in the future, but hopefully get the execution down better, because if I'm being honest with you, this was planned probably a week before the chapter released, which meant I didn't really have a lot of time to get things ready, and I just kind of did it on the whim without much planning, without much preparation, which is probably why it turned out the way it did. But overall, I'm still really happy I did it. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. And it's something that I think is going to be really fun to look back on in a couple of years when I'm feeling a bit nostalgic for Chapter 4's launch. And now that brings us to present day, where Chapter 4 has released. A lot of people are really loving it. I myself have enjoyed it quite a bit, and I'm really happy with it. And we're in a spot where creative mode is probably the worst state it's ever been in, and I am really worried for 2.0. I have a whole video on that if you're interested. But yeah, we just released one of the biggest cinematics, if not the biggest cinematic for Brim Royale Rise of the Totems, which is officially kickstarting the storyline for Reimagined, or I guess Chapter 3 as a whole, and I'm extremely proud of that project. And yeah, currently I am feeling pretty mixed about Fortnite right now, if I'm gonna be honest. I love this brand new chapter when it comes to BR, though I think it leaves a lot to be desired when it comes to the performance of the game, especially on PC. It has made it very difficult for me to enjoy this game at the current moment. And where do I even begin with creative mode? Brim Royale has been doing great this year, but at the same time, it has been kind of strange since the absence of Chapter 2, and it doesn't help that creative has only gotten worse and worse as time has gone on when it comes to how buggy it is, when it comes to the amount of problems we've seen. I didn't even mention the entire memory purge that happened this year during this recap, which was awful and is still in effect. Fortnite hasn't done anything to address it, and the recent news that 2.0 isn't coming anytime soon, and the fact that the creators aren't even confident in it does not make me very excited for it either. And I gotta tell you, we've been working very hard on the next season of Brim Royale, but my goodness has it made it difficult to work on it due to the sheer amount of bugs in the game at the current moment. So that's unfortunate. But has it completely discouraged me from making maps? Not yet, so we'll see what happens next year, but hopefully things get better. In general, I think BR is in a really great spot moving forward as long as they improve the performance and keep it up at the rate that they're going now with fantastic new additions. And honestly, I think creative could be good in the future, but I certainly don't have much hope for it right now, unfortunately. But yeah, I think overall for me, 2022 was kind of a year of growth and changing on the channel, especially in terms of creative projects. I think I've learned a lot this year when it comes to how to handle things with creative projects, especially Brim Royale. And overall, when it comes to BR, it's been a bit of a rocky year during some seasons, but overall, it's kind of been more of the same for the channel, making more commentaries, all that kind of stuff. I love doing it, and I'm so happy that you guys have been enjoying the content, and I want to take this final moment in the video to thank you guys so much for 3,000 subscribers. Right before the end of the year, we have reached this insane milestone, and I really appreciate you guys for supporting me, supporting the channel throughout the year, and I cannot wait to keep making content, and I think that Chapter 4 has a bright future ahead of it, though I said that about Chapter 3, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens in 2023. If you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you are new, because I make videos like this all the time, and you can also use my support to create a code Bendominator in the Fortnite item shop #ad. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, have a great rest of your day, and goodbye.